It's back. The OnePlus 5T. One of my favorite phones I've ever owned. Now, it's been about 6 years now since I've had this phone. My last review on this phone, as of this date, is my most viewed video on this channel. Now, I haven't used this phone for a while, but it's still super fast. Look at this. Swiping, moving. It hasn't slowed down one little bit. It doesn't really have the best refresh rate, but it's fine. Only downside is the battery is expanding. Can you see on the side there? Yeah, it's bulging, which is really bad. So I replaced the battery about 2 years back, and after 6 months, the battery began to bulge. But can you see that? It's not the best on both sides if you look carefully. Yeah, I've been charging it for a while. As you can see, the paint is coming off the bottom. Earphone jack is still there. But yeah, the bulge is a little bit of a problem. And maybe it's because I fixed it. But yeah, so that's still fine. Just a heads up, if the original battery was in there, it wouldn't be like this. It's only because I chose to buy a cheap eBay battery. But yeah, it's still got the same features, swipe up and down to scroll, which I really miss. I have the OnePlus 6T now, but yeah, I really miss the back fingerprint scanner and the scrolling. So yeah, 6 GB of RAM. The battery life, as you can see, is, what does that even say? 48%. That is horrendous, So let's just do a quick test just to see in terms of what's not working. The OnePlus has this app where you can check all the system details. It's not on the Play Store, but it's online. So checking the proximity sensors, that looks like, is it changing? There we go. It's changing, so it looks good. So that's working. Yeah, with this, you can find out any major issues the phone has. So let's check the light sensitivity by waving in front. Is it the number changing? Yep, it's going up and down. So that works perfectly for an old phone. Yeah, so far so good. So we can see that it is changing and it looks perfectly all right. What else can I see? Okay, what's the next? Okay, so gravity sensor, gyroscopic sensor, and yeah, Wi-Fi. And so far so good. Well, it's looking like it's working. I think for me, it's more about, understanding which areas are not working. It's been sat in my cupboard for at least 2 years, if I'm being honest, and that bulge is really annoying me. But those things are working. Gravity is looking fine. It's detecting battery and charging, so that's okay. Now it's time for the buttons. Okay, the off button works. It's turned a bit darker. Volume up, volume down. Perfectly working, no problems there. Now for the silence switch, yep, it still works fine. All three are working. Yep, they're all working. They won't go dark. So 6 years later, still working. Let's see, 1 finger, 2 fingers, 3. So yeah, the multi-touch on this phone is still working. So yeah, so far it's looking good for a 6-year-old phone with a bad battery. Okay, now let's look for some dead pixels to see. Nothing on the red. Green looks fine. Blue's alright. Yeah, so there is no dead pixels. With this, let me see. I actually don't see 8. I clicked 8 by accident. I saw 9 because there is a grayscale line there. So that's not really great. You guys can see my little jerry rig setup there. Camera's looking good. Still surprisingly very good for this type of phone. So no issues there basically. It looks fine, focusing just fine. Now you can see what I can see basically. My setup, the front camera looks fine. See my hand moving. So contrast looks fine. I just don't like some of the way it processes. Audio, you can't hear this, but it sounds perfectly alright. It sounds very good, so no problems there. It's playing. What's next to test? Yeah, microphone. I'm not gonna try plugging it in because there's no point in that, because I tried it a couple days ago and it was working alright. Vibration, the phone is not vibrating. it's actually not vibrating. I wonder it's maybe because I put it on silent that it won't vibrate. But yeah, it's not vibrating at all, which is a problem. And we found 2 faults. Okay, let's see. It actually should be 3, but it's 2. So gravity sensor and the phone vibration are not working. So that's all right. Let me set an alarm just to see if it will vibrate, because maybe I put some settings on the phone to maybe not make it vibrate. So now it's 16:26. So let me do it for the next 1 minute just to see if it vibrates. It's very annoying because even when I toggle to vibrate, it should vibrate, but it's not for some reason. So maybe because I now have a OnePlus 6T, maybe it's because I'm used to how that works, but we'll see. But yeah, so it looks good so far. The screen looks basically perfect. It's got a few scratches because of my work on it, but yeah, the back metal. In the last video I made, I had a lot of people saying, listen, Solid Mind, the back is not plastic, it's metal. So the metal back looks good. It doesn't really have that many scuffs and scratches, but yeah, as you can see, I've been charging my phone for a while, and because this doesn't have the base battery life, it's vibrating. So that's good on that front. I just don't know why it wouldn't work on the when it was tested. So I think let me now do a Geekbench test. I think it's very important to look at how the phone has changed over the last few years to see in terms of if there's been a change. But yeah, let's do that. Let's have a quick look. Because normally I would use Antutu benchmark, but I think a couple years ago that was only exclusive to iOS. So normally I use Geekbench 5, which was when I last reviewed this phone. Now Geekbench 6 is out. So I'm going to just install it and quickly see if there has been a change. We now have the score. So we have the score of 418. And last time I got a score of 382. And a multi score of 1529. And last time I got a score of 1648. So it has increased. Yeah, so which is surprising actually, because I thought it would have gotten worse, but maybe the way Geekbench does its scoring has changed a little bit. But yeah, on the single core and multi-core, there has been a massive increase. So the phone has gotten a lot faster since then. Perhaps, yeah, it's Geekbench changing the way it scores its system on Geekbench 6 instead of 5, because the last one I used was 5 and now we're on 6. But still, everything looks good. No problems, no hiccups. I'm really surprised. I wonder which sections it increased on. But it doesn't really matter. All you need to know is this phone is a lot faster. Feel free to watch the previous video to see the comparison. But yeah, it has increased by over 100 on each score, multi and core. And look how fast this is. Not one problem. The scrolling, perfect. It's quick. Yes, the refresh rate is not the best refresh rate, but everything else looks good. I'm canceling apps perfectly. No problems, no issues, no nothing. It all looks good. Swiping, scrolling. I have no complaints about this phone. I could easily pick up this phone and use it today as my daily driver. And the back fingerprint scanner to scroll, look at that. Up, down, up. Let me see if I can fix that. I can't. But look at the battery. I'm trying to pry it open a little bit. But yeah, I might do a battery replacement video if I get enough likes. If this video gets, let's do 300 likes. I will do a video replacing the battery on this phone and getting it back up to scratch. But yeah, beautiful metal back, lovely phone, no complaints. Do I miss it? Parts of it. Is it worth buying today? Maybe. But thanks for watching.